So I killed my whole garden on purpose. Well, kind of. I mean, I let it die on purpose. And if you only came here for the short explanation, it's because I'm almost 9 months pregnant, but there's more to the reasons why I let it die. So if you live anywhere north of me, you're probably like just getting into the height of your harvest season. On the other hand, I live in Texas in zone 8A, so that means I get an extremely long growing season, which I am incredibly grateful for. But that also means that right about now, everything is struggling. We have had one of the hottest summers in quite some time this year, seeing actual temperatures of like 107, 108. I think we've even gotten up to 109. So that makes it feel like anywhere between 115 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And it can be extremely miserable because it is humid as all get out. But a lot of us with curly hair down here don't have a problem getting our hair up to Jesus. Anywho, everything is struggling. We have cornfields that they burn up before they ever got a harvest off of. We have almost craters in the ground because the ground is so dry, and we've seen a huge increase of people having to take their cattle to market early because of drought. Ponds around here have just dried up. Along with all that, we've been really having to heavily water our animals to keep them hydrated and to keep them cool. Really, y'all? Some little punks. What'd you do with my hook? There it is. Quit taking my hook. From the hours of probably 11 a.m. to about 6 p.m., they pile up under the shade and just lay there and pant. Between the lack of water and the blazing sun that has been this year, our garden plants have been really struggling too. With that being said, my main focus for this year was my tomato crop. And a lot of what I planted was a determinate type of tomato. So determinate tomatoes, they give you pretty much a set amount per plant, and then they kind of just stop producing. Luckily, I started them early enough in the year that I pretty much got most of my harvest before this massive heat wave hit. Got more jalapeno peppers in my freezer than I could ever want because I'm a weenie when it comes to spicy things. We've got okra, squash, green beans. I mean, we've harvested plenty. With our first frost date being somewhere around the beginning of November, you may be wondering why I'm not taking advantage of our longer growing season and planting another round of warm weather crops. Well, that is where me being almost 9 months pregnant comes in. When you plant your crops, you've got to look at your growing days till maturity. Some of the things that I have, like the green beans, I think they're approximately 55 days to maturity, and then stuff like corn is more like 110. So at this point in the season, I probably could get away with planting a lot of things and still get another harvest off of them. But I do have to consider I am due in sometime in September. It's already getting pretty hard to do things, but I don't want to be worried about trying to harvest and preserve everything that we grew whenever it's crunch time. But I'm not going to be wasting any perfectly good garden space. What I have to do is just really focus on my fall crops that are a little less high maintenance. So my plan going forward is to go ahead and get my fall crops in the ground whenever it cools off a little bit more. So our fall crops that we're going to be heavily focused on are potatoes, maybe some sweet potatoes, cabbage, broccoli, carrots, onion, and garlic. A lot of these crops are a set it and forget it kind of thing where you plant like your onions and garlic in the fall and then you don't touch them until they're ready in the next growing season. This way, I'm still growing food without having to worry about preserving up until we make our run to the hospital. So that in a nutshell is why I let my garden die and kind of my plans moving forward. So I want to know, let me know in the comments, are you someone who is in the thick of harvest season right now? Or are you like me, closer to the southern states where everything is burning up and it feels like we're living on the equator right now? Be sure to hit that subscribe button to join me in the fall and winter version of growing, preserving, and cooking with your homegrown food. Thanks for coming along on my journey of learning homesteading and homemaking skills from scratch, and I'll see you next time.